Hello there, welcome. Today we are talking about Leviticus chapter 13. So, in today's chapter, we're learning all about leprosy. We're learning things about how leprosy was diagnosed, what people with leprosy had to do in terms of being separated from the others, and all of the details related to this disease. So, what's interesting is in this chapter, we see that some of the priests are mentioned, and the priests were actually the ones who diagnosed the leprosy and decided if someone who had leprosy did in fact have it and if they needed to be separated from the other Israelites. So evidently priests not only had their priestly duties, but they had some medical duties as well. Leprosy was highly contagious, and lepers were separated from others and confined outside the camp. So we see a lot of detail about what this condition looked like, how people who had the condition or who had been exposed to someone with the condition could cleanse themselves. And we even see things about treatment of contaminated clothing. So a good question that you may be asking after you read this chapter is, why was this even included in the Bible? And I have a footnote that I want to read you that addresses that very issue. It says, why is this passage in the Bible? So much of what we read in Leviticus is a picture that contrasts life for people in the Old Covenant, that's before Jesus came to earth, with life for people in the New Covenant, after Jesus came. This picture helps to clarify what life in the New Covenant is like. Today, no matter how good our deeds might be, they are contaminated by sin and are nothing but filthy rags before our holy God. Thus, we are unclean because of sin. But being united with Christ in baptism is like putting on new clothes. The righteousness of Christ covers us like new clothes and makes us clean before God. And therefore Jesus, our high priest, looks as though we have... Okay, let me reread that. The righteousness of Christ covers us like new clothes and makes us clean before God, and therefore Jesus, our high priest, looks at us looks at us though we had never been contaminated by sin. I'll get it out eventually. So a great illustration of leprosy before Jesus and how leprosy can actually be compared to sin today in our lives, and how people before Jesus cleansed or protected themselves from leprosy, and how we can cleanse and protect ourselves from sin today. Thank you guys for watching today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.